Not the effort that you guys have had typically so far this season. What did you think happened tonight, and where was that?
Really probably leaving those guys underestimated, not keeping those guys to account, forgetting about them that this is the NBA and those are NBA players. It deflated us a little bit too off their shot making. I'm seeing the scouting report on the clips they have had in their previous games. That film was not showing the guys out there, and that's how the NBA is. It's always one of those nights where, you really have to lock in and dial in. And I feel like we were just behind the ball a little bit, and they killed us in transition, and they played amazing defense. And we weren't ready for it, and, JJ basically got on us about it. And, yeah, we're ready for the next game.
Yeah, I guess in the first half you saw a lot of different possessions where they were getting behind the defense, right? And you guys have been doing a pretty good job of limiting that lately. Did you feel that the team defense just wasn't quite connected there?
Yeah, it wasn't connected at all. Just kind of, I was just discombobulated a little bit where how fast it was moving. Them guys were hungry. Next man up mentality, and they really showed up. Coach should really be happy of those guys over there. They really moved the ball well. I think they had plus 30 assists as well, and they had us moving. They was in our paint, and we couldn't do nothing about it.
Was there a specific moment in the game where you just could tell you guys didn't have the juice or would not have the juice that you guys have?
It was really coming out the halves. I was really depending on the third quarter for us to have that, just to throw the first punch in. We kind of did. We made them call the first timeout, but after that timeout, they came out even more aggressive and locked in. And yeah, we couldn't match it because their made shots and our missed shots kind of like, the ratio was just all over the place. And it was more of a second effort game, and they definitely outplayed us.
Obviously, it's disappointing. Jake's mentioned that, JJ mentioned that, but it's even more disappointing when you guys basically did the same thing to Portland in Portland.
Yeah.
Won games like this.
Yeah, that's why it's kind of like a hard pill to swallow for real. When we know what we're coming up against, and seeing the way how they played, and they played phenomenal. But like us, not even damn near competing, in a sense. And it looks bad on paper and it looks bad on film. So this is one of them games where, yeah, the food gonna taste bad tonight. But this is the NBA. We got 82 games. Next game up.
What did you feel from Atlanta's defense that was probably unique, something y'all haven't quite saw over the first, 2.5 weeks?
Nah, they had everything. They have like sizes over there. Them dudes can switch 1 through 5, and that's what they really did. And, everything was with pace and aggression. So that's something we're used to seeing. But they're one of the teams for sure, like Portland, that can really switch 1 through 5 with all their like sizes and really get their offense going off of just having stops on defense. And that's what they did. They made sure they got stops on live ball, and they got downhill and in our paint.
I know you take a lot of pride in communicating on defense, and when you see the defense a little bit discombobulated, just how personally do you take that, and how do you want to kind of improve next time?
Yeah, JJ can see the stress on my face, and he tried to calm me down, but it was a little frustrating because I'm the last line of defense, and like I said, they were in our paint, and the way how they were moving the ball, there were centers. The centers were even driving the ball, and it was the guards cutting. It was the other way around. So, they're pretty unique on how they were playing. They were running around doing a lot of cutting and a lot of rebounding. So they really wanted that game, and it's really a second effort game tonight that got them the dub.
Last question. The starters midway through the third. You were the first to come out a couple minutes after that.
I kind of knew what it was for sure. By the time it was looking kind of ugly. I think we couldn't even get the ball up, and then we got another turnover. It was just looking bad, and once I seen Hayes come up, I already knew that we on to the next one.
Obviously, I would imagine Jason had a message for the team, but do you have a personal message for you after taking you out at that point?
I really no personal message to the team. We all know what we did out there wrong, and we all know how we felt. So I didn't really get no personal, not at all from JJ. It was more like a pat on the back, like, yo, it's one of these days where we're just flat-footed and teams are on our ass right now.
Kind of result that you guys want. What did you feel like? Where did you feel like this game went the wrong direction, and how are you trying to get back into it?
I'd just say we came out flat. It took us a while to get going, and then when we got going, they just kept it going, and they didn't let up. So we're gonna watch film, build on that, and then get ready.
You've seen games like this before. You guys were on the other end of one in Portland, obviously about a week ago. When you feel the tide going one way, are there certain things that you try to do as an individual, or what are the methods to try to deal with it?
I would say as an individual, we all try to stick together. I think that's the biggest thing. We try to listen to all the vets. We got a smart on the bench that always communicates every time out. So I think that's the biggest thing for us that we did.
GJ was talking a lot about championship communication, championship habits in a game where the game gets out of hand so quickly. Like, how do you feel you guys stuck to those things? Like, were you still communicating the way that you wanted? Were you still able to work on some of those championship habits that you want to develop?
Yeah, I think for sure we still could work on it and be better. I don't think we're always there no matter what. I think it's a long season, so we got a lot of time to keep building all of our championship habits and communication and stuff like that. So I think it's a long season, and we're just going to get better from there.
This is your guys' first time really having a loss like this, where you just let go of the rope and the other team just blitzes you in the way that they did. There were a few losses like that last season, thinking about in Minnesota, in Miami, thinking like December time. How was the messaging from JJ? How would you compare post-game JJ today compared to those times when you had it last season?
I would say compared to those last ones, it's a lot calmer. I think he knows that we got punched in the mouth and we punched them back, but they just kept going. So I think at the end of the day, just like he said, just got to watch it and be ready to take criticism and then build on it for our next game.
Don, you guys are still missing several of your primary creative type players. Look like Atlanta was doing a lot of switching. Like, when that's happening, what are the ways to still try and generate good shots as a team?
Just get ball movement. I think we did a pretty good job doing that. We got a lot of open looks. Just some shots didn't fall like they usually do. So I think that's something we'll be fine with, especially when we got when we get AR back and stuff like that. So it'll be good.
What do you think of calmer JJ?
Calmer JJ?
Yeah, like after a big blowout like this.
I wouldn't say calmer. I think it's more just like, I don't know, just more to build off of. I don't know if it's just calm. It's just he expected more out of us, and we're just gonna be ready for the next game and move on.
Did you feel anything unique, or what kind of stood out to you about how Atlanta played, how they approached and attacked y'all team's defense in particular tonight?
They were just moving the ball around the whole entire time. The guys hit their shots, and they just attacked us 24/7, picking up full court, and then just blowing up every action of ours.
Thanks, Nico.